So, I mean, they go farther than just firearms. I mean, they're not letting you take a knife in. I mean, it says except for small pocket knives. I wonder how they differentiate between what pocket knife is allowed and what pocket knife is not allowed.
Sure.
You can't have any pepper spray with you. I mean, basically, they're kind of disarming you to go into the fair. We are the Armed Attorneys, and today we're going to be talking about the gun laws at the Texas State Fair. This is something that has been going on for a couple of years now. But before we start our discussion, show your support for the Second Amendment by hitting that like button.
Good job. One-on-one on the intro, Leslie. I enjoy having Leslie around. It's nice.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
And so this is, I mean, kind of a fun, but also tragic. Look, we have this long history of, they say it's the most glorious place on earth, the Texas State Fair, the most Texas place ever. I'd say that needs to be community noted because they are excluding firearms. And how did this work for a while? Well, we allowed licensed carry holders to carry in the state fair for a period of time. In the interim, we passed Texas's permitless or constitutional carry. They made an adjustment to their policy, and they still said, hey, look, we only want license holders carrying. And part of this was based on this is a private organization holding an event. So, you know what? Just like a private property owner, you don't want somebody to carry a firearm into your house. You get to exclude them. This is kind of the basis for all of that. Well, fast forward a little bit, and we had some folks who I think they didn't even enter the event ticketed. They snuck into the event, involved in a shooting. 3 people shot. And how did they react? No guns.
More guns. And the big issue here is that the Texas State Fair actually leases the property from Dallas government.
And they hire the police to do the security.
Interesting.
So this is not an arm's length, hey, give us your property, Dallas. This is a, hey, Dallas, you are intimately involved in the execution of this event.
Right, exactly. What the law says in Texas is that you can't prohibit license to carry holders in places that are run and owned by the government. So think City Hall, parks, the tax office, that sort of thing. If it's owned by the government, license to carry holders have to be permitted to carry there. So this goes in direct violation of what the law says.
Yeah, so, and we look at this, we have our government code 411-209, and this relates to the wrongful exclusion of license holders, because we do have a list of statutorily prohibited places here in Texas. Those are in Texas Penal Code 4603, and our law basically says if it's not one of these prohibited locations, hey, government, you cannot exclude license holders because it is a slippery slope. If the government could just say, hey, even though the state of Texas says you're good to go to carry a handgun in public, but you can't carry here, you can imagine, especially with some of these, we have blue cities in Texas, basically making firearm ownership near impossible, folks who want to carry to protect themselves. And so we have that general rule. Hey, guess what? Unless it's on this really short list, can't exclude people. So then fast forward, we have this city park. We have, it's a nonprofit leasing the space, but working in conjunction with the government. And so it led to this kind of conflict of, hey, is this a wrongful exclusion of license holders? Because, really, this is government exclusion.
Yeah, it is. And so, actually, they go further than just firearms, which I think is interesting. And I'm going to actually read their weapons policy from their website. And it says, as a private, not-for-profit organization, the State Fair of Texas prohibits fairgoers from carrying all firearms, knives, other than small pocket knives, clubs, explosive devices, ammunition, chemical dispensing devices, replica or hoaxes, or other kinds of weapons of any kind. This includes holders of licenses to carry, constitutional carry, concealed carry, and the open carry of firearms anywhere on the fairgrounds, including Cotton Bowl Stadium. This policy does not apply to current peace officers or qualified retired peace officers in accordance with state law. Peace officers' credentials will be verified by Dallas Police Department. So, I mean, they go farther than just firearms. I mean, they're not letting you take a knife in. I mean, it says except for small pocket knives. I wonder how they differentiate between what pocket knife is allowed and what pocket knife is not allowed.
Sure.
You can't have any pepper spray with you. I mean, basically, they're kind of disarming you to go into the fair.
But enter Attorney General Ken Paxton, because right after they made this decision last year, we had him suing, saying, hey, guess what? This is the wrongful exclusion of license holders. That lawsuit has been churning along. We have kind of a new update for that, and we'll talk about that in just a moment. But in the meantime, we had a legislative session where the Texas legislature even tried to fix this because, you have this quasi-public-private exclusion, and, it does. And I think there's good arguments for why we shouldn't allow this hey, look, this isn't just renting a space and them excluding people. This is really the city of Dallas excluding license holders. Because you think about this, what if the city of Dallas entered into, and I don't want to give the leftists any ideas, but I think the logic holds. If they said, hey, private organization, you're in charge of all the doorways to all of the city buildings here in the city of Dallas. And that private organization said, you know what, we're going to exclude license holders from entering these doorways. The court's logic, because ultimately they denied his request for an injunction,
Right.
The logic would hold that would be permissible, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, it is.
So what's the latest?
Yeah, the latest is that a district court in Dallas this year.
Yeah, that was June the 24th.
Yeah, of this year. The judge granted summary judgment in favor of the Texas State Fair and the city of Dallas, meaning that this ban on firearms and weapons is going to stand, unfortunately.
And, it doesn't just stop at the fair. We have a similar issue. Partner Edwin Walker has been fighting with the Houston Zoo over their firearms policy. We now have clarification that institutions of higher education, or post-secondary education institutions, we've clarified all that law to where it shouldn't apply to, these libraries and zoos and museums and things like that. Because really, when the government wrongfully excludes license holders, we're the most law-abiding demographic that's out there. I mean, we're committing crime at a rate of between 1/5 and 1/7 of Texas peace officers. So we're really law-abiding folks, and we want the ability to defend ourselves. We don't want the government wrongfully excluding us in these locations, because to do otherwise would kind of create this minefield of prohibited places, keeps us less safe. It just makes us a bigger target, and we can't tolerate it.
Yeah, I think one of my favorite quotes by Edwin Walker, I think it was in the Houston Chronicle, is that right?
Okay. Yes, it was.
Was that he did not believe that any license to carry holder would shoot a baby giraffe in front of school children at the Houston Zoo.
Yeah, he's quoted. That's his quote. And so far, he's been right.
So far, he has been right. Definitely one of my favorite quotes.
But this is one of those issues where maybe we need, and you see, and we do this all the time when we're kind of game planning out, okay, we need to fix this infringement, thinking about how government's going to abuse it or, try to skirt the line. And that's exactly what the state fair in conjunction with the city of Dallas has done with this. They're really taking this law to the absolute extreme in excluding license holders. We need to fix this.
Yeah, and I'm curious. So people who live in Texas, who typically go to the Texas State Fair, is this prohibition going to stop you from going to the state fair? Are you still going to go to the state fair? Let us know in the comment section if this is actually, harming their attendance by keeping people from going or not.
Yeah, but we hope you enjoyed this discussion. If you did, consider subscribing, hitting that like button, and help us fight the anti-2A algorithm by sharing this video. And don't forget to question and comment in the section down below. Until next time, we're the Armed Deterrents.